Hi everyone. Thank you, Professor Saralees, for being here with us today. For people that does not know Professor Saralees, he's a reader in University of Manchester. He is also a lecturer in University of Manchester. For whoever takes courses with Professor Saralees, they always say that he is very close to the students. He's always in contact with the students, either inside the courses or outside the courses. So again, it's a pleasure having you here today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
No worries. So I'm wondering, it's probably a long journey before we become a reader in mathematics. What does it mean to be a reader in mathematics? Is it like a job? Like I'm always like interested because it in your resume it was senior lecturer, then it's a reader. So what's the difference between like being a senior lecturer and a reader?
Well, thank you for inviting me for this interview. I mean, reader is, well, there is a hierarchy in academia in the UK. So you start being a lecturer, and then the next level is senior lecturer, and the next level is reader, and the next level after that is professor. So that's the hierarchy. So reader is somebody who's teaching and who also like does social responsibility activity. So I've been, I've satisfied all those criteria in order to become a reader, yeah, at the university.
So and why did you start why did you decide to study mathematics in the first place?
Well, I was always good at mathematics in primary school, high school. So I always wanted to specialize in that area from a very young age. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
W-
Yeah.
Was there any teacher like or any class in the middle school or in high school that grabbed your interest?
Um, yeah, there are many teachers. I mean, I don't, I'm not good with names, Rashid. So I'm not really, I don't remember the exact names of these teachers, but there were many teachers who really influenced me in the primary school and high school, and also in the first undergraduate degree that I did. Yeah.
Mhm. So you studied your undergraduate degree at the University of Zimbabwe, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
uh-huh.
Yeah. And yeah, that's a good university, and it was, I mean, was an honor. It was an honor attending that university, and I really enjoyed my time learning mathematics at that university. There were good teachers, really inspirational, some of them. Um, so I mean, I had a good time. I mean, that's one of the maybe one of maybe the one of the few places, or maybe the only place where I really enjoyed learning mathematics. Yeah.
Mhm. And do you see like those professors change the way you interact with the student or the way you teach in general?
Kind of true. Yeah. But I mean, I always wanted to help students, not just in a university, but anywhere, like anywhere around the world, especially in Africa. So I am always, try to be good to students inside the classroom and outside the classroom. I tell them that I can be contacted 24/7 for anything they need help with, whether it's academia or outside of academia. Yeah, yeah.
I feel like it's really important and valuable for the student, like they can contact the professor at any time. It's not like
Yeah.
just the relationship between the professor and the student inside the classroom. They can also be
Yes.
reached or contact, and the professor will help them also in issues that's not part of university if he's able to.
Yes. Yeah, I do that. Yeah, with all my students. I mean, it's difficult to do that, but I mean, especially when you have a large class. But nevertheless, I try to do that as best as I can.
Mhm. With your classes, is there a favorite class to teach?
I mean, all the classes I teach are like my favorite classes. So I don't have a favorite class as such. I mean, like I teach currently. I'm teaching two courses every year. One in the first semester, one in the second semester. The first semester course is Introduction to Statistics, which is the first course in statistics taken by any undergraduate student coming to Manchester. And the second course is a third and fourth year course, um, and it's called Extreme Values. That's also a popular course. Is taken by third years and fourth years, and also some master students and PhD students. It's also a popular course, and yeah.
I Please correct me if I am wrong, but I saw that some of your research also in extreme theory or extreme values.
Yeah, that's one of my research areas. Actually, I did my PhD in extreme value theory a long time ago. So it has been one of my research areas. Yeah.
Do you find like teaching and doing research can help one another in a way, like by doing more research, it's easier for the professor or for the lecturer to teach the students, or they're more like a separate kind of skills?
Um, well, they are kind of interrelated. I mean, you can tell the students, like, especially when you teach like a third or fourth year level course, you can tell the students what kind of research you've been doing. I mean, uh, for example, in the area of extreme value theory, and that may inspire students to apply for PhD or some other degree. So I do tell, like I do some from time to time, I tell my students what kind of ideas I've been working on with in research, and and sometimes I do give them like links to some of my papers, and also not just my papers, but papers written by others too. Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
So more of fourth and third and fourth year student, they're kind of mature that they can help their maturity by reading other researches of professors and different people in the area.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's right. Yeah.
And for being a statistician or professor in the statistics, what's your most favorite branch of mathematics? And if you have kind of a least favorite branch of mathematics?
Well, statistics is my area, and as you know, I mean, I don't have like, I mean, every area of statistics I have worked on is a favorite one. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't have worked on it in the first place. So I don't have like something like the most favorite area, and I don't also have anything like least favorite area, because everything I worked on I really liked it. Yeah, yeah.
How about like in another other the branches of mathematics?
I haven't worked on other branches of mathematics like
Mhm.
applied maths or pure maths, or haven't really worked on them, but I have some papers in applied mathematics, but those are inspired by statistical ideas, like statistical ideas leading to to development of applied mathematics, right? But I haven't worked on uh, applied or pure or other areas. Yeah.
And going back again for the teaching, you've studied in University of Zimbabwe and then probably went to different countries and different phases or countries of education. Do you find it different in education between different countries, the way mathematics being taught?
Well, I mean, I did my first degree in Zimbabwe, then I came to the UK to do my master's and PhD. Yeah, I think the style of teaching here is different, I guess, compared to Africa, at least compared to Zimbabwe. I mean, I guess, I mean, I may be wrong, but people, I mean, they do teach a lot of stuff in the UK, but sometimes they lack detail because you only have like so much time for teaching. Whereas in Africa, in general, I feel that they go through more detail. That's the only thing I can mention. I mean, as far as something that I've observed here in the UK. I mean, and
yeah, I think it's.
I mean, it's difficult. These are two different systems. I mean, because the UK universities, I mean, they have better reputation. That doesn't mean that the universities in Africa are not as good as the ones in the UK. I mean, I'm sure if you compare like student to student, I mean, they are equally capable of performing equally good under the circumstances. So, so it just even better. Like, I mean, I've taught like courses in. I'm not sure whether you know there's a programming language called R. Are you aware about it? It's like Python, for example. Python is a programming language, and R is also programming language, and especially for statisticians. And I taught that course in Zimbabwe during one of my trips, and the students were able to do things I mean, that I don't think many students in the UK or in Manchester can do. So it's just, I think they are better motivated. Students, I mean, in Africa or in Zimbabwe at least, some of the students are better motivated and wanting to learn more. Whereas that's not always the case in the UK, because here everybody is well off, the same as that they just want to study to get a degree. Yeah, and because of the reputation, that counts more. I mean, because of the reputation of Manchester University or other universities, that counts more than like what you would get out like from a university in Africa.
I think it's this is something that I agree with, at least from my own experience, that at some countries, like sometimes or at least in some situation, it's the ranking of university didn't always imply how our school doesn't always imply how good the school is. Like in terms of ranking, my school wasn't that good, but it was like it was my favorite part of life in learning and teaching. And even like currently, I always remember how I studied in my school in Emirates. It's the school wasn't that strong, but it's something that I personally really enjoyed very much. It was one of the best time. It's
Yes, that's same with me too. Yeah, that's, I mean, I agree with you, Rashid, on that. Yeah, it may not be good in terms of ranking and all that, but that doesn't mean the students there or the teaching there is not comparable to the one in the UK. In fact, all I found is that the students are better motivated. They really wanted to learn more than the students in Manchester that I have taught. Yeah.
And also there's in like different countries, I agree with you also in terms of motivation. I'm not saying, and we're not saying that there's here students that's highly motivated, but for I think other like in other situation in other countries, it's for them education means so much. Like for them, at least in some people that I met, education means like you're going to have a better life for you. You're going to have it's something you're going to have a better life and everything. And most of the time, people that want to continue university or want to continue graduate studies, and most of the time they already have sacrificed a lot. Where most of the people will just end up like in basic stuff. They sacrifice so much, and they really want to study to improve themselves, knowing that education is kind of that is kind of the only of the best solution they have in order to have a better life from them for themselves of and for the community as a whole.
Mm. That's true. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Yeah, for sure. Yes. Yeah.
And in terms of your community involvement that goes with projects as Educate Africa,
Mhm.
how is it going in Africa? How is the education situation in Africa? I hope it's like it's getting better.
Yeah, I mean, it's going well. I mean, I teach courses with, uh, I teach mainly like postgraduate courses, sometimes also undergraduate courses for students from various countries. And I also collaborate with a lot of researchers in the continent because, as I said before, they don't have the outside world has left them. Uh, I mean, I mean, they have no connection to the outside world. So I reach out to them and work with them and give them ideas that they can work on that is beneficial for the continent of Africa. So for example, I work with a person in Nigeria on climate modeling of in Nigeria. I work with somebody in Cameroon, Ghana, Zimbabwe, Burkina, not Ivory Cote d'Ivoire, and other countries. So many other countries. So I work with little projects with researchers from these countries. These projects are about, I mean, what they can do. You know, what using data from their own countries, like whether it's climate data, whether it's data on cancer survival times, or something like that, using data from their own countries, how can they improve the lives in their own countries, right? So that's what I'm trying to, so I'm reaching out to all these researchers who are now, who are otherwise don't know what to do. I mean, these are really talented researchers, right? And working with them and trying to publish papers to advance their careers and also to advance the living standards in their own countries. So that's part of Educate Africa, and so yeah, so it's going well, but it keeps me busy 365. Like every day I communicate with somebody. I mean, there's not a single day I don't communicate with somebody in Africa. So it keeps me busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wonderful that, as I said earlier, it's wonderful that you're still in contact with people that's from Africa and from your country, and I hope that situation is getting better. And how's their involvement with the project? Do they, I don't know how to say it in English, are they keen into researches and statistical parts? And
Yeah, I mean, they get the data, and I give them ideas on what kind of statistical tools they can apply to analyze the data. I mean, it may be a tool that is already available in the literature, or it may be some new methodology that needs development. All right. But in either case, I mean, it's like a learning process for both of us. I mean, so it's we work together and try to develop some new, try to apply some statistical methods to analyze the data. So at that, the results of the data analysis could lead to, I mean, could benefit the country. You know, at least, for example, with in the work I did with a researcher from Zimbabwe, we analyzed the survival times of cancer patients. So, and we considered various factors, like, for example, age or gender or race, education level, employment, things like that. So we were able to find out, like, whether the survival times depend on how they depend on all these factors. So, for example, we found that the Black Africans in Zimbabwe are more likely to die versus other people in Zimbabwe who are not Black Africans, right? So that means perhaps, like, the health system could spend more money, more resources for catered towards the Black Africans. So I mean, that could help the community as a whole in that country. Yeah. So that's an example of a project that I worked on, and that paper was published in Scientific Reports, which is a good journal. So yeah,
it's there's something that I always been wondering about, like those last days, since it's like my last year of undergraduate, and I think lots of undergraduate students that wanna do research in the futures may also be wondering about this thing. For researches, is it, what does it take to do a research? Is it time? Is it commitment and time, or is it like a pure talent or a pure ideas, like you need to be clever, smart to in order to do research? Is it commitment, time?
yeah, just motivation, Rashid. It's just yeah, commitment, motivation, and the passion to do research. You can, I mean, anybody can do research. You should have a good supervisor, like, uh, to supervise you. So yeah, um, yeah. So I mean, in my case, like, I mean, I have supervised many PhD students, so I know, like, I can, like, I mean, if like, since you are from physics, and if you have a good idea, I don't know much about physics, but if you have a good idea, then maybe we can do some research together. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hope.
Yeah.
And there's something also that's like that I love about, like, once I went to your website and process like the website, and you including the CV or some information about the students that's part of the research or your PhD students. And it's something so beautiful, like you can, like, it shows like that you also really care about them, about their repetition for the projects. And yeah, it's so beautiful. uh no worries. I have one more last question. Do you have any advice for people that want to do researches, or people that want to do researches, or a student generally in first year or in the other years?
Yeah, I mean, try to be passionate about what you're learning. Um, try to be, well, do, if you want to do research, I mean, uh, try to explore what you have learned in your undergraduate years. See what area that you like most, and try to see if you can, like, um, if you can try to explore more about what you have learned in that area, right? Um, um, and then you may be able to become a good researcher, right?
There's like one characteristic that you want to see in all first year undergraduate students in University of Manchester, or in other UK universities or any universities, what would it be?
Paper at the end of the 3 years or the 4 years that you are here for, but try to be better motivated to do what you're doing. Um, I see people coming here sometimes just to get a degree, but it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. I mean, try to be better motivated, uh, and also try to get involved in community activities. Like, there are a lot of community activities, not just Educate Africa, but
Mhm.
around the university. You can get involved in helping, you know, disadvantaged communities around in Manchester. And you can also help the NHS, for example, especially during the pandemic. NHS needed a lot of help.
Mhm.
Uh, you know, so there are so many little projects you can do if you're interested in community activities. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with this point that helping people or doing stuff like, if once someone, especially first year students, since they have like lots of time, if they put in their time or commitment to do a project or help something or whatever small it is,
Yeah.
they will have a feeling that they're part of the community, and they're whatever change, small change, and they're capable to do small changes that help the whole community as a whole.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Rashid. Yeah.
Thank you very much for being here today with us, and thank you very much for your time again. And
Yeah. Thank you, Rashid.
thank you,
Thank you.
Professor Solis.